Often, we take these opportunities to discuss Japan from a general perspective, touching on many topics such as macroeconomics or interest rate policy. We as a house and as a strategy are macroagnostic. This does not mean we do not care about the macro, but rather the macro is not the main driver of the construction of the strategy. We are a house of skilled fundamental stock pickers. As a team of generalists, we get to make the comparisons of apples to oranges to airplanes. Our view is that being able to make a holistic comparison gives a better understanding of the relative strength of individual investments. This generalist approach does not mean we are not educated in intricacies of specific sectors. To that point, I would like to talk about a well-understood global market topic, the semiconductor industry. However, I want to speak about it from a Japanese perspective. The export controls imposed by the US Commerce Department in October 2022 to restrict China's ability to obtain high-end chips and equipment required for manufacturing them saw a global reaction that depressed valuations to a point that it showed Japan's semiconductor sector at a rare, reasonable valuation. Japan has an arguable cultural advantage in the country's long-standing manufacturing excellence. Overlooked is that without Japan, there will be no advanced chips driving today's digital economy. For simplicity, I will walk you through at a high level the fundamental analysis of the Japanese semiconductor sector using the lens of Tokyo Electron, one of my portfolio companies. But I would like you to know that this is being provided as an illustrative example and should not be interpreted as stock or investment advice. Tokyo Electron supplies critical equipment to major chip makers like TSMC, Samsung, and Intel for semiconductor chip production. Alongside Applied Materials, ASML, and Lam Research, Tokyo Electron is one of the world's top semiconductor production equipment companies. Each company excels in specific areas, contributing to the building blocks of our digital society. According to Tokyo Electron's medium-term plan released in June 2022, management is targeting operating profit margins of 35% or higher and a return on equity of 30% or higher by March 2027. Few other Japanese large-cap names can aim for 30+% ROE. But make no mistake, the journey has never been linear and will always fluctuate, as the industry cycles are notoriously volatile. With the increasing complexity of semiconductor manufacturing, the production equipment industry has consolidated meaningfully over time. Manufacturing advanced semiconductors involves over 1,000 steps to create billions of transistors on a chip the size of a fingernail. Correspondingly, the equipment to manufacture these is sophisticated, pushing the boundaries of engineering and physics. Each new generation is built upon R&D and proprietary knowledge developed in prior generations, making it exceedingly difficult for a challenger to dislodge a technology leader. Equipment makers partner with chip makers to create their cutting-edge equipment based on the technology roadmap that typically extends 10+ years out. Many breakthrough technological advances can only be made through such collaborations. For the chip makers, the risk of falling behind on a technology curve by partnering with a second-tier semiconductor production equipment supplier is too great, further cementing the position of the semiconductor production equipment leaders. Simply put, top-tier semiconductor production equipment companies are in high switching cost business. Fundamental R&D activities are hardly glamorous, but Japanese people's studious ethos is well suited to the work, which explains the reason several Japanese companies hold a #1 position in their respective fields, ranging from silicon wafers, mask blanks, photoresists, and other specialty chemicals. Tokyo Electron has the broadest product portfolio, having 4 consecutive key process devices in the patterning process: deposition, coating, developing, etching, and cleaning. And its market share is number 1 or number 2 in most categories. For coders developers, it boasts a market share of over 80%, and for the EUV, extreme ultraviolet process, it has a 100% share. Initially regarded as a subpar semiconductor equipment company, it faced doubts about its technical prowess. However, the winds of change began during the 2008 global financial crisis. While weaker players struggled, they attracted skilled chip engineers who had lost their jobs. These engineers, combined with strategic talent acquisitions, bolstered Tokyo Electron's capabilities. As a result, the operating profit margin surged from 14.4% to an impressive 28%, and return on equity climbed from 11.8% to a remarkable 32% by fiscal 2023. Simultaneously, Tokyo Electron's revenue nearly quadrupled, reaching 2.2 trillion yen. This turnaround underscores the power of a strong engineering workforce and strategic decisions in shaping their story. As the largest and most representative company within the Japanese semiconductor sector, Tokyo Electron is often traded as a proxy for chip capex cycles. As such, the market view on the stock tends to mirror industry sentiment. Recently, the sentiment has considerably recovered, driven by the bottoming out of DRAM prices, which raises expectations for an upturn in the capex cycle and generative AI-related demand. Product trends: coders, developers, dominating with over 80% market share. These tools are vital for ongoing semiconductor manufacture. Etchers, the cryogenic etching system with an impressive 84% carbon footprint reduction and 2.5 times faster etching speed, is gaining traction among NAND manufacturers. This trend may extend to DRAM chips. Cleaning equipment. Tokyo Electron competes strongly in single wafer cleaning, a crucial process for particle removal. Deposition equipment, their focus on ALD technology, aligns with future semiconductor needs, especially for advanced architectures. Back-end processor equipment, expanding into 3D integration and advanced packaging, Tokyo Electron positions itself for success in the evolving semiconductor landscape. The sector has several risks, and this can be split into two main themes. 1. Industry cycles and obsolescence. The semiconductor and SPE industries exhibit notoriously volatile cyclical patterns. Tokyo Electron is no exception. Consider the fascinating landscape of lithography. The advent of the EUV process revolutionized chip manufacturing. Japan's former stalwarts, Canon and Nikon, lost their footing in the race against the Dutch giant ASML, which now reigns supreme as the dominant EUV lithography equipment supplier. Such shifts in the fortunes occur due to fierce competition and technological advancements. For instance, Lam Research surged ahead in the 2010s, capitalizing on the success of 3D NAND technology. The tide turned as the EUV process gained mainstream acceptance and ASML thrived. The current technology roadmap hints at potential risks for coaters and developers. If the industry transitions from conventional chemically amplified resists to dry resists, existing products could become obsolete. Dry resists offer higher sensitivity and resolution, enabling further miniaturization of circuit patterns, down to around 1 nanometer. While the complete replacement of CAR remains unlikely due to unknown throughput and defectivity, Tokyo Electron must navigate this evolving landscape. New chip technologies like all photonics networks and superconductivity remain years away, Their successful commercialization could revolutionize the chip industry, but this will take time. 2. Tokyo Electron's strength in strategic diversification. Its ace lies in its comprehensive product portfolio across key process devices. They cover 4 critical steps in the patterning process: deposition, lithography, etching, and cleaning, reducing vulnerability to any single product technology. As industry dynamics continue to shift, Tokyo Electron's broad exposure acts as a stabilizing force, even amidst technological flux. China's semiconductor investments have surged post-US sanctions, and their sales to China now account for 47% of total sales. However, there's a cautionary note regarding potential capacity overbuild, which could lead to a significant supply glut in the future. Our understanding of global trends, technologies, competitive landscapes, headwinds, and opportunities is solid. In addition, we have a thorough knowledge of the internal corporate and domestic Japanese cultural influences. Our valuation discipline is coupled with our belief in seeking long-term opportunities for access to great companies at reasonable valuations. As a journalist, it is easy for some to dismiss a lack of specific market understanding versus sector specialists. When looking at a complete strategy, it is important to have a fundamental understanding of all facets to aid comparison in opportunity. If you wish to speak further on this topic, please reach out to the team or me, and we will be happy to discuss our insights further.